Woakes announces his international cricket retirement, Will Jacks as England's second spinner in Australia, and the Women's World Cup has started down in India and Sri Lanka. Welcome to Round The Stumps Power Play podcast, your pocket-sized podcast for those updates that just can't wait. This is a new format of podcast I wanted to give a go, like a tiny bite-sized podcast, hence being called Power Play, just to give some updates on a few things that have happened in the week before our bi-weekly big main episodes that we have here at Round The Stumps. Our first news drop is Chris Woakes announcing his international cricket retirement. This comes off the back of not being selected in the Australia Ashes squad that was announced a couple of weeks ago. The England setup has really made it clear that they're heading in a slightly different direction. No more Stuart Broad, no more Jimmy Anderson, and no more Chris Woakes. It was kind of clear that, okay, yes, Woakes' shoulder injury and the rehab and recovery off the back of that has seen him miss out on this Ashes announcement, but the way the direction of the team is moving, it does seem like the moment for Chris Woakes has passed. Personally, I think of recent, Woakes has been a great bowling asset to the team, and I think that kind of all-rounder role has been slightly where he's kind of started to slip a little bit in form. His form with the bat has been slightly lean in terms of run scoring. He's not really delivered as much as potentially England have wanted him to with the bat. With the ball, he's been a great new ball bowler, but once that shine does start to come off the ball, he has really seemed, especially over the English summer, with getting the ball to continue to keep moving and get those wickets. Now, that isn't to say he doesn't still have it with the ball. I direct you to his opening spell in India's second innings at the Old Trafford test 4 in that series, where he took 2 for 2 in the first over of the second innings. It was phenomenal and really was exactly what England wanted. In fact, in that game specifically, that lunch break came at very much the wrong time because momentum was so in England's pocket and in England's hands with that fantastic opening spell from Woakes. So it's not to say that bowling he doesn't deliver and he doesn't bring, but I think there are potentially just other bowlers that are coming into the setup, other bowlers that England use that just deliver that little bit more. But that isn't to say that Chris Woakes' 14-year international career wasn't a fantastic one. 2 World Cups in that time, 62 Test caps, 122 ODI caps and 33 T20 caps. Really a multi-format player for the England side. He has his best figures in Test of 6 for 17 against Ireland in 2019 at Lords, and Lords being a good ground for Woakes as also where he picked up his maiden and only Test century against India in 2018. 2,034 runs, 192 Test wickets, and the figures in his white ball stint don't take for bad reading either. So a fantastic career for Chris Woakes. Obviously, he does continue in domestic cricket. We do expect to see him next season at the 100 as well, whether it be for the Welsh Fire, who he was due to play for this year, but obviously missed out due to that shoulder injury, is yet to be seen, because obviously the 100 is probably going to be going through a little bit of changes ahead of next season too. But we do expect to see Woakes probably back at Warwickshire as well for his home county as well. So we hope to see him back in the domestic, but what must be said is a fantastic international career. He will be missed. He is a consistent and a senior player in that dressing room with a lot of knowledge and a lot of know-how to give to those younger bowlers coming in. So certainly will be a miss, I am sure, in that dressing room and on the squad. He's certainly not been pulling up badly as of late, but is it the right time? I think so. I think in terms of an all-rounder, he's not been delivering that all-rounder skill set or need or what England would want from him for a little while now. But I do think, still a fantastic bowler, fantastic career, and he will surely be missed. Now back to the Ashes, where we talk about Will Jacks and his inclusion in the England Ashes squad for the upcoming series. It's one that scratched quite a few heads, left a lot of people slightly confused. Now, to just look at Jack's test figures, he's only ever played in 2 tests. Best bowling figures of 6 for 199, sure, but that is a 6 for. It was in the 1 innings as well. It was away at Pakistan in 2022, where he did take and participate in both of those tests he's been involved in. So he has been involved in this Stokes-McCullum era of Test cricket as well. That's been where his experience in Test cricket cricket has come from. So it's not a setup that's new to him. He's obviously quite a valued member of the white ball squad as well, now run by Brooke and McCullum again. So it's definitely not a bad choice. It kind of reaffirms what we said in the last episode where we discussed England kind of focusing on a batting heavy lineup and really wanting to be able to take that batting deep, because he does offer a lot with the ball. He's got 89 test runs in those 2 tests that he played in. So it's difficult to really take state on his batting ability in tests because he's only ever taken part in 2 tests, but he's got over 1,000 white ball runs. So he's very proficient at hitting the ball. He's a very heavy hitter, and obviously kind of coming in, I'd expect him, if he plays, to come in that kind of 8 position that Woakes did hold in the start 11 just after Smith. Another batting depth, someone who can bat with the tail, who has experience batting with the tail and white ball. So for his batting, I think more than his bowling, he's been included in this England Ashes squad. Obviously, as we discussed last time, does leave only one frontline spinner. You have Bethel and Root and Jacks who can spin and will be used as spin options by England, but it does seem that they have decided being able to bat deep is more important than having those frontline spinners. Now, obviously, the chat is coming across from Australia with Nathan Lyon having his 2 cents into what he thinks about not having a full-time spinner across all of your tests. But we shall see what kind of impact Jacks can have and will have in the Ashes squad. Do I think he will play a test? Yes, I think it's a very odd choice inclusion if you're not going to get him to play. So I do expect to see Will Jacks playing. We shall see what kind of an impact he does have, but it really does look like England are focusing on having that batting depth over the full-time spinner option that a Leach or a Rian Ahmed or Tom Hartley or someone like this would have brought to the squad. And finally, a little bit of a teaser for next week's episode, as the Women's Cricket World Cup has begun this week. It started on Tuesday 30th with Sri Lanka and India, the hosts of the tournament, taking on each other in the opening game. I won't talk too much about results, as we will talk about those in the next podcast, but it is up and running. I think India do stand as favourites due to conditions and their ability and their kind of record and flow at the moment. They've got some very informed players. Australia looking a little bit uneasy with a couple of their warm-up games, but it's still the Australia women's cricket team. They're very, very good and have a very, very good track record in this format. So they're certainly not to be written off, but possibly this is a chance for someone to come and upset the apple cart. Just a reminder, we have 8 teams in the Women's Cricket World Cup. That is Australia, New Zealand, India, Sri Lanka, those are your 2 hosts, Pakistan, Bangladesh, England, and South Africa. When we come back to talk next week on the Women's World Cup, which will be the focus of our next podcast, we'll talk about the opening games, who's showing up, who's playing well, and what we can kind of expect from the tournament. But that is your Round the Stumps Power Play podcast. I do hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know if you like this kind of format. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit different, and much faster than the usual podcast we put up. If you have any comments or questions or anything, please do let me know in the comments, either on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts and where you're listening to me. Thank you so much for listening. And also do let me know, we've had some great comments about your start lineups for Perth from that England announcement that we had in the last podcast. So please do keep sending in your start 11s, because I'm really interested to see what you do different to me, if you do something different to me, and your justifications for who you are selecting. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Round the Stumps Power Play podcast, and we will speak with you very, very soon.